And we are back for our top 4 of the Premier Challenge number 16 here in Pico Rivera, California. For this gym challenge, I am Jesus Coronel alongside me, Dennis Geisler. We are here. We have Brandon Davis. We have Abigail Watson for our top 4. And we've seen these teams before from both of these players. Abigail, unfortunately, we had less screen time because of the incident that happened earlier. Brandon's team, once again, the Initi, the Iron Crown, Fluttermane, Chestnut, Incineroar, and Landers Incarnate. And for Abigail, the Ogre Wellspring, Landers Incarnate, Entei, Chien-Pao, Fluttermane, and Whimsicott.
Yeah, this time no neutralizing gas to stop that Indeedee from getting the Psychic Terrain up and using its Psychic Seed. The Iron Crown with the Expanding Force to go along with that, the Quark Drive, and the Booster Energy that will boost its special attack. A lot of power in that duo if Brandon wants to go for it, but there's a lot of other options here for Brandon. And then for Abigail, does have the Whimsicott with the Tailwind, can provide that speed bonus. This is the Indeedee does have Trick Room, which could make that a little bit dicier if Abby goes too far on making her team a little bit too fast.
I mean, yeah, there is a Trick Room for the Indeedee to counteract the Trick Room, the Tailwind from the Whimsicott, which would benefit a lot of Abigail's team because she's been on a roll with the Landers, which is how in that one game we only got from her as. We got a quick 2-0 from her, if anybody recalls from that series. And once we get into this game number 1 of top 4, goodness gracious, anything can happen. And here comes the leads for this game. Abigail going to be the opponent for Brandon's perspective. We have Landers and Entei for her lead. Brandon's going to lead the Iron Crown and Indeedee. The Psychic Scourge will be enabled this time. And this will make the battlefield weird, prevent priority, activate... No, the booster energy comes out first to activate Iron Crown's Quark Drive, which will boost its special attack, increasing its damage output, and the Psychic Seed will also trigger, boosting Indeedee's special defense stat.
Yeah, and I really like this lead. I'm really interested by this lead, more than anything else. Iron Crown does have to be a little bit on watch for the Landorus here. I believe the Landorus will be faster. I don't think the Entei will be faster, though. That is a turn 1 Terra.
It is a turn 1 Terra for Abigail, as a matter of fact. It's going to be the Landorus. It's going to be the Steel.
Oh, yeah, it is the Steel Landorus. I was thinking, there are a lot of Poison Landoruses today. I don't know about that, but it's the Steel,
I guess a Poison Landorus, that does nothing. Especially against that Expanding Force. And then Brandon's also going to tear his Iron Crown away from the Steel type and go water.
I like that quite a bit to make you... a little bit bulkier against everything that these two Pokemon have to offer. The worst thing that can happen, I think, at this point is a Snarl, and even then, Expanding Force will still shred these two.
Helping hand Expanding Force with the Booster Energy multiplier.
It's going to be a lot. Entei's slower.
Sandy's Storm does connect on both Pokemon. That's a lot of damage to Iron Crown. It would have been a one-hit KO otherwise. Expanding Force comes out. How much damage would this be doing with all the boosts? It has not enough on the Entei.
Wow.
And Snarl comes out.
Yeah, I am surprised that that did not do enough there, and this puts Brandon in a pretty awkward spot as Sansear Storm will really hurt. It will really, really hurt. And Dazzling Gleam probably won't pick up anything in return if Indeedee is able to take a hit.
And that's the problem, because Indeedee is not really known for its damage output. You know, yeah, I'm a little surprised that... I mean, yes, this is that AV Entei we're talking about. It is Assault Vest, which can put it to pretty bulky levels, but like, you never really see it take a damage. Like, yeah, 1.3
like that with Iron Crown, with Booster Energy for its special attack in the Psychic Terrain, Expanding Force,
and
so
Helping
much
Hand.
damage there with the Helping Hand.
And instead, Iron Crown is going to be protecting out of fear.
I think that's smart for now.
Sansear Storm is the option again for Abigail.
Will this knock out the Indeedee from here?
Well, my question was what's going to hit, and it does hit, which is not enough to knock at the Entei, but Snarl should be fast enough. No, Sacred Fire is just going to double up into it.
Ooh, okay. That was a smart play there. Actually, I think that made sense as a play for Abigail, since Sansear Storm would have finished off Iron Crown regardless.
There's Fluttermane coming in here, so... You can threaten to knock on both these Pokemon. The only question just becomes, well, I mean, yes, Iron Crown is faster than the Entei. Now we know after a fact. It's just like, do you protect with the Landorus is the question, because if you do, you're kind of leaving the Entei wide open. If you don't, you gotta switch in something for that, and there isn't much that can be swapped in other than like maybe Chien-Pao.
Yeah, I think I like this play from Brandon, getting the Shadow Ball down onto the Landorus, finish off the Landorus. The Entei's slower than the Iron Crown. Get the Iron Crown to finish off that.
That Entei.
Yeah, finish off the Entei.
Terra Blast Water is going to be the choice.
Fair enough. No reason not to.
Out comes the water, raining down from the sky. Down goes Entei. And now it's a 2-on-2 situation, but this Iron Crown notably still has a Snarl drop with -1 special attack.
Yeah.
Important to note, this Flutter Mane's Focus Sash.
Yeah, and it's a 2-on-3 situation. Brandon still has one more Pokemon in the back.
Ogrepon is one of them. Unfortunately, though, Landorus Terran already, so no Mighty Aspect's going to be coming out this game. Flutter Mane's the other Pokemon, and...
That's a Specs Flutter Mane.
Well, if it's Specs, then you got to really worry about something like Dazzling doing a whole lot of damage to both of your team, because you cannot speed Ogrepon, but you're not knocking it out.
Mm-hmm. Although I believe...
maybe you can knock out Flutter Mane with Shadow Ball, but that's all I'm really seeing.
Potentially, I just think there's a ton of damage offered here by Brandon.
Yeah, but it's like Abigail has the speed.
Does Abigail have the speed? I think Brandon might have the faster Flutter Mane.
Yeah, I'm referring to like the Ogrepon and the Iron Crown.
Yeah, the Ogrepon is faster than the Iron Crown. That is certainly true.
Flutter Mane protecting. That's definitely safe. You know, in case Iron Crown faints, you now have your backup option to come into the battle here. Yep.
But
it's gonna be the Iron Crown going down to the Moonblast.
Yeah, now it just means you did nothing for a turn, because the Flutter Mane is now down. Its head spins around.
it's in the future. It's meant to mechanically spin around as Agriculture goes into the protects. So a couple good things here. Brandon is able to preserve the Focus Sash on that Flutter Mane. Second of all, you get the Landorus in for free. Problem still is that Ogrepon.
Yeah, the problem is still Ogrepon, since the Ogrepon is actually slower than Landorus. That Landorus we got to see there, it's timid. Thank you for demonstrating, Brandon. So I think both of Brandon's Pokemon should be faster than their counterparts.
Like Ishio is going to keep their Ogrepon protected and safe. This comes down to which Flutter Mane's faster and which one can take advantage of what item it has. Shadow Ball into this Flutter Mane. Not enough for a one-hit knockout.
Not enough.
Moonblast into this Landorus Incarnate. Is not enough. Sludge Bomb into a Protect.
But this is still not a bad spot to be in if you're Brandon, because your Flutter Mane is faster.
It still has a Focus Sash.
It's also Focus Sash, but basically you have 2 hits. You have 3 hits remaining, basically. 2 on your Flutter Mane and 1 on your Landorus, and you will certainly finish off the Flutter Mane first.
There you go, Dazzling Gleam faster than the Ogrepon of Abigail. And
now
faster
this
than the
Landorus should
Mane.
be able to finish this off.
Yeah, depending if it's not faster than his Ogrepon. And it is faster than his Ogrepon. Down goes the Ogrepon with that Sludge Bomb. Brandon Davis wins game number 1 of the semifinal.
Yeah. And that was definitely well played towards the end there. The beginning, it felt kind of dicey for a bit, but it did get all the damage that it needed to. It was in an awkward order, but all of that damage did end up getting down, and the Ndidi dropping while the Iron Crown was still up was actually kind of good, because it meant that the Flutter Mane was able to get in and threaten things before anything else.
Yeah, I don't know really if Abigail did anything wrong about it, because everything kind of went according to plan, other than like maybe taking too much damage from the Expanding Force and having to force the Terra onto the Landorus Incarnate turn 1. That might have been the one thing, but I think that Terra was justified.
Yeah, I wonder about something like doing something other than a Snarl on the Iron Crown turn 1, trying to actually knock it out, not just weaken it. Because I don't know that the Iron Crown got like 1 more attack off, which was the Terra Blast onto the Entei after that. So the Snarl really didn't do that much. If the Entei decided to go for even a Sacred Fire into that Iron Crown, it might have picked up the KO and might have stopped it from being able to linger on the field for as long. It still would have gotten all that damage down, but it would have meant that it wouldn't have been able to follow up with that Terra Blast later faster in the Entei. I feel like that was one of the things early on that might have decided things.
Yeah, but unfortunately we're not going to get an immediate answer towards that question, as we're going to get set for game number 2 here. Abigail once again going to Landorus and Entei, and once again for Brandon, oh never mind, something different this time, Landorus with his own and the Flutter Mane.
Yeah, these Landoruses are not the same. Brandon's is timid, and presumably Abigail's is modest, so it's a little bit slower.
And if you are slower, then does that mean that Entei's forced to go Terra Grass here? Because if it does, then yeah, you kind of wasted a Terra on the one turn to protect your Entei, which could just get a one-hit knockout by technicality of Fire getting a burn potentially on the Fluttermane.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is that Entei is in a chase scenario regardless with this Landorus.
Ooh, hold on a minute. Brandon going Terra Stellar on his Fluttermane turn 1. What's the damage?
Yeah, I don't hate it. If you just want the extra bonus damage, no reason not to. Fluttermane is one of the Pokemon that's able to take some use of Terra Stellar because it's able to use 2 types of moves, get the bonus on each of them.
Oh, not when Landorus protects in front of you.
Not when it protects in front of you.
Yeah, and now just gonna have to whatever this Entei tries to do here. If it goes for the Sacred Fire into the Fluttermane and gets this burn, it's gonna be detrimental, but it's not gonna get a chance to because of that Earth Power.
Yeah, and that was the situation for Entei. Where
oh my god, I don't think the critical hit was needed, but that's just salt in the wound.
It might have mattered. It was definitely a close one against the Assault Vest Entei. And that was the situation as well where Entei... It was basically a 50-50. If Entei decided to Terra, then... Sludge Bomb would have probably knocked out the Entei. If it did not decide to Terra, then it probably would have gotten taken down by, or we saw it got taken down by the Earth Power. So it was kind of a 50-50 call there, but now it's pretty difficult for Abigail to work out of this corner.
Yeah, we do see Chien-Pao come in for her in the replacement of the Entei. Still have to deal with the fact that you didn't lose your Fairy boost on the Stellar Terra, so Dazzling Gleam is an even better option right now, and you could just double into this Chien-Pao without a problem, unless you, of course...
I think Chien-Pao's faster than Landorus, so I think Chien-Pao will be able to handle Landorus okay.
Yeah, I was about to say that, and Landorus is going to go ahead and go Terra Steel.
Yeah, I think it's got to be these two getting aggressive now, where I think the Chien-Pao will probably be able to handle... this could be not a double knockout, but at least Fluttermane going down to 1 HP and Landorus getting one shot here. And Chien-Pao goes down to 1 HP.
Yeah, Chien-Pao goes down to a sash right now. Landorus is able to take it much better than the last time it could have taken Dazzling Gleam here. Ice Spinner going to go ahead and knock out his Landorus because it's quad weak to ice, unfortunately. And now we gotta wonder what Abigail's Landorus does here against this Fluttermane. It will break the sash nonetheless. Unless Answer Storm misses his target, and it does!
I would have preferred Sludge Bomb there. Really would have preferred Sludge Bomb there.
Yeah, Sludge Bomb would have done guaranteed damage, and actually would have been a good amount of damage to threaten the knockout, or would Earth Power be doing more?
I think Sludge Bomb would have done as much. The thing is, it's a focus sash anyway. So Sludge Bomb with a chance to poison is probably a little bit better. Now you're in an awkward spot, especially because Landorus can't actually use... Checking the team sheet. Yes, Landorus cannot actually use Sludge Bomb into Chestnut. It's got bulletproof.
Yeah, and this actually might give Chestnut a turn to go for... Oh, never mind. You can still get hit by Ice Spinner. Hold on, you might not get an Iron Defense up in time.
Yeah, it's still in danger of damage, but it's... a much better position for Brandon than even this current game state suggests.
And Incineroar are going to come in here to maybe mitigate the damage from the Chien-Pao coming in from this Ice Spinner.
It's going to be pretty reduced, that's for sure.
Or the Chien-Pao just protects it. This is Iron Defense coming in from this Chestnut. This is going to be a big punish here, and here you go. You cannot use Sludge Bomb against a bulletproof Chestnut because it's a bullet type attack, and the body press is another knock on the Landorus because it went for the Terra Steel. That's a big unfortunality that's just happened to Abigail.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate there, and even some of the best trainers forget about some of these mechanics sometimes, but I think that's gonna make it pretty difficult for Abby to get out of this one.
Ogerpon in the back, so that's pretty much a free fake out of this Chien-Pao, and you could get a guaranteed Iron Defense in this situation, and I think Brandon might have secured a spot into the grand finals.
I don't think you need the Iron Defense at this point. I think you can just kind of hit.
Well, you do, because you get that spec norm, like a Sword of Runes gone from the field. Agriculture will go into this Incineroar. Probably needs a critical hit to get a one-hit knockout. Oh, it does get a one-hit knockout. Didn't need a critical hit, though.
Yeah, I don't think it needed a critical hit. That's a especially bulkier Incineroar. The Iron Defense is there. I guess my concern with the Iron Defense is that your win condition is just hitting the Ogerpon a bunch of times. Your lose condition is getting crit by Ivy Cudgel.
the fortunate thing is, even if Ivy goes with crits, it's not very effective under the Chestnut because grass versus water.
It's not. There's basically no way that Overbond
Yeah, there's no way out. There was no way out of
anyways.
this game. Brandon Davis going to secure his spot into the top 4 because there were very much a couple win conditions. Obviously, Iron Defense was a big win condition, but also your Flutter Main still had the Focus Dash.
Yeah, the Flutter Main's still going to get 2 hits down anyways. I don't think it really mattered. The Iron Defense was fun anyways, but yeah.
And Brandon Davis, your spoiler alert, will be facing defending champion Giovanni Costa for the grand finals as he defeated Brian Collins soundly with 2-0.
Yeah, and it's going to be an exciting finals. I'm interested to keep seeing Brandon's team because this is very different. It's got a couple of new Pokemon. It's got a couple of old staples that are used in some new ways. I'm interested in seeing how these match up against each other.
And we'll be right back to give you one last break before we go into Gio versus Brandon. We'll be right back. Hope you don't go anywhere because we might be back pretty soon.